Today I want to talk about my hitting tips, trying to be the best that you can be for hitting here in MLB The Show 25. In the comment section, I want us to all help each other. If you have a hitting tip that you think would help somebody, drop your hitting tips that you think would help down in that comment section. I also want to see some questions if you're wondering anything. Myself or somebody else could try to help you out. I really want the comments on this to be a helpful place. But these are going to be my hitting tips here for MLB The Show 25. And the first thing is going into practice mode. When you're on the main menu, you want to scroll down twice and get to this area where you see custom practice. That's where I practice my hitting and MLB The Show. That's what I'm going to be in for this video for y'all. Once you're in practice, you want to go ahead and pause it, practice type, and switch it to batting. That's how you're going to practice hitting and MLB The Show. You're going to choose the batter and the pitcher that you want. You can choose the pitch frequency if there's anything specific that you struggle against. You can also choose the location. You can have them throw only certain locations if there's something you struggle against. I like having everything set to the same. I like it being completely random, just like it might be in a normal game. Now, before we actually start hitting, one of the most important things is going to be the settings, and we're going to cameras first. If you are trying to be the best that you can possibly be, I recommend any variation of strike zone. I like the most zoomed in one, strike zone just normal like this. That's what I use. The in-play fielding views are going to be completely personal preference. Fielding views for when you're pitching, in-play views for when you're hitting, but that's personal preference. I use medium. I know some people like broadcaster, dynamic, or high, but I personally use medium, and then I use strike zone for my camera angle. If you're trying to be the best that you can possibly be, I recommend one of the strike zone variants. I personally use strike zone, but this is really all personal preference, the view that you like to use. The other important settings are going to be under gameplay, and to be the best that you can be, you want to use zone hitting. It's personal preference. You can use directional if you want to. You can use timing if you want to. But again, I'm trying to be the best that I can be. I use zone interface with buttons for my swing inputs. The PCI anchor, that's going to be more personal preference. They have brand new presets this year for the anchor. If you know righty, you want it middle in, you can have it set to middle right or middle left, I guess it would be in this case. But if lefty, hey, you can maybe set it so you want it up and in. They do have presets. I'm keeping mine on middle center, but that is something brand new this year. I know a lot of people that use the PCI anchor are going to like that. Plate coverage indicator. This is what you're moving around. This is what you see. That's the PCI, the plate coverage indicator. Okay, that's going to be set automatically to on. If you don't want to see it, you can turn it off. It's still there. You still need to move it if it's set to off. It's just not displaying on the screen. But I have this set to on. I personally like circles for my inner dots. There's 3 dots. The top one is going to be the perfect fly ball dots. The middle one will be the perfect line drive dots, and the bottom one is the perfect grounder dots. I try to move those towards the ball when I'm hitting. PCI inner, I like wedge because it kind of simulates a bat. A lot of people for their center like to use bats. That's going to be the actual bat that you see. So if you're wondering, hey, how do you get that bat? That's going to be under settings. It's going to be under the gameplay settings. And for your PCI center, you want to have it set to bat for that. I use circles. I use wedge for my inner. That's going to be kind of the contact area of the PCI. The outer ones, I have it set to off, but that's going to be the vision, the kind of foul ball chance that your batter has. Color, about personal preference, I use yellow. Opacity, I like 70% because I like being able to see it pretty well, but I also like it being a little bit see-through. And then I don't have anything fade out. If I used the outer, I would have that fade before the pitch is thrown, but I like having my PCI on screen for the entire time. But now let's talk about actual hitting tips while you're hitting. My first one is be okay with taking pitches. You don't have to swing at everything. Even if it's a strike, you don't have to swing at it. Now, it's a little bit different when you get to 2 strikes because you have to protect a little bit more. If it's in the zone, you need to swing at it or else you're going to strike out. But if there's not 2 strikes, I would recommend taking pitches, being selective, because it really helps to kind of get a feel for how the pitcher's releasing the ball. Really try to watch out for that release point. Really try to see how that's coming out of his hand, seeing how the ball's coming out, and just try to get a feel for the pitches as they're coming in. But be okay with taking pitches. I would say until you have 2 strikes, maybe be looking for one specific pitch or one specific location. For me, that's usually down the middle. When I first start in that bat, I'm looking for something down the middle. If I don't get it, okay, I'm laying off. I saw that that wasn't going to be down the middle. I'm laying off. And that kind of leads me into my next tip. The number one thing that I would say you can do is practice. This is practice mode here in MLB The Show. This is not how I personally practice. The way that I practice is just actually playing the game. Playing online, ranked seasons, BR events, whatever it is. That's what I want to be good at, so that's what I play. In my opinion, the best number one way to get better is by actually doing it, by actually getting experience against a real person in a real online scenario. So I would say my number one overall tip is going to be actually go out and play, actually go out and get those reps in, ranked seasons, BR, whatever you're trying to get good at, actually get those online reps in. That's going to be my number one tip. But if you are doing practice mode, I think a quick way to get better is for your gameplay settings, going to general and then having your hitting difficulty, and this would kind of be the same for pitchers too. I would say try the hardest difficulty. It's probably going to be tough. I've never done GOAT difficulty. I struggle on legend as it is, but I'm going to try out GOAT difficulty for y'all here with Mace. Ooh, I guess we got to wait one pitch before it takes effect, huh? So I'm here on GOAT difficulty. I struggle on legend, like I said, but I think the number one way if you're doing practice mode is going to be playing on the hardest difficulty, because you're having the least amount of reaction time. You're trying to see the pitches coming in literally as fast as possible. That one, we're able to put it in play, but not great swing right there. But if I get more reps in on GOAT difficulty, eventually I'm going to start feeling a little bit more comfortable on this. Maybe I should take my own advice and actually watch some pitches. What I want you to watch right here is watch the left side of the screen. You'll notice as he's going through his motion, as he pulls back and is throwing the pitch, look at that. You see the leg kick? You can kind of figure out the timing. Every single batter, every single hitter in this game has some sort of load, some sort of leg kick that automatically times the pitch. You saw how I had good timing there? I used, with my peripheral vision, I know a lot of people don't know this, I used that leg kick to try to time the pitch. Now I'm just swinging at everything right here because I was trying to time it up like that, so we had good timing again. If you did not know, you can pretty much have perfect timing if you're timing up your swing with the batter's load. I know a lot of people didn't realize that that's a thing, but that's a good way as you're watching pitches, as you're hitting, to try to time up the pitcher, is really pay attention, because every single hitter in this game has their own load, and I know a lot of people might not realize that that's actually a thing. And that moves me on to actual timing. You don't, in my opinion, want to just sit with your PCI in the middle like this. I'll do it sometimes, but you don't want your PCI to just be stuck in the middle. You want to keep your thumbs warm. You notice, if you actually played baseball, if you're watching people play baseball, you'll notice, hey, they're moving quite a bit. And when a pitch is being thrown, they might do the same type of load every time. I would try to figure out your pre-pitch routine. Whatever that is that you want to do, try to figure something out that maybe helps you out. I like to maybe have my PCI a little bit left like this for a righty. It would be the other way for a lefty. And then right when the pitch is thrown, I kind of move it up a little bit. My own little bit of a load while I'm playing. So he's kind of getting ready. I move my PCI up a little bit like this. And then when it's actually thrown, I move it up. Right before he's releasing that ball, I move the PCI up a little bit. Again, we're playing with Mason Wins. 70 contact, 77 vision, only 39 power. This is GOAT difficulty. My literal first time ever doing it. It's probably not going to be too great, but this is how you're going to get better, is practicing. And if I'm doing GOAT difficulty, okay, now I can go to gameplay. I could maybe turn this down to, hey, All-Star is what Battle Royale's on. All-Star is what you're on until 700 in ranked seasons. Then you get to Hall of Fame, but maybe you're somebody who only is playing on All-Star for BR, the lower ranked seasons. I can guarantee you that if you go from GOAT difficulty to All-Star difficulty, it's going to feel way easier. And, okay, I mean, I'm way early. You might be early, too. Your timing might be a little bit off, but you're going to have a lot more time to react. The PCI is obviously going to be bigger, so that's why I really recommend, if you're trying to get better, if you're trying to practice, just play. Even if you suck at it, like me. You guys saw I didn't play well. Even if you suck at it, you can't hit anything, try doing GOAT difficulty. Try doing the hardest difficulty, and then from there, go back to the difficulty that you might normally play on. And if you even don't want to do practice, go straight from practice mode on GOAT difficulty to the online mode that you struggle. Because if you're going from practice mode to GOAT and then moving from there to online battle royale, it's going to be crazy how different it feels. And I really feel like you're going to have some confidence in your online abilities. Going from practice mode with GOAT to battle royale and all-star, it's going to feel so nice for you if you've been struggling. But again, I really try to recommend having your thumbs stay warm. Try to have a little bit of a pre-pitch routine. And that leads me into next. Where do you look when the pitcher's throwing? Like, what are your eyes doing? Because that's important, and I feel like that really helps. You want to try to see the release point. I personally don't recommend staring directly at the release point. You'll notice, hey, Luis Severino, he's releasing the ball in the same spot every time. I don't like looking directly at that point. I kind of like, if it's a righty, I look at his right shoulder. A lefty, I would look at the left shoulder. But I kind of try to just keep my eyes in that general area and track the ball as it goes through. Okay, so right now I'm personally staring at the glove. I'm staring at the glove. Now I'm kind of visualizing where the hand is. I'll still be looking at the glove. It's hard to explain, but I'm kind of staring at that area, like right here of the right shoulder, that area where he's releasing the ball. But my peripheral vision, I'm trying to track the ball. It's hard to explain what I'm doing because I'm not moving my eyes, but I'm having my eyes focused on that release area. But then my peripheral, my secondary vision is tracking the ball. It's very hard to explain. I'm hoping it makes sense what I'm saying, because hopefully y'all can kind of, it's kind of like the timing with the peripheral vision for the hitter. I'm not staring directly at it, but I can still see it. Even though I'm not looking at the ball when I'm staring at the release point, I can still see the ball on that right side of him. I can still see the ball when he's pulling it back. So that's what I do when I hit, is I stare at the release point, but then I'm tracking the ball with my secondary vision. I feel like that really helps me. I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm hoping that helps somebody, but that's exactly what I do when I'm hitting, while trying to keep my thumb warm as well, trying to have a little bit of a pre-pitch routine. I don't like my thumb getting cold by just having it sit in the middle. And along with the keeping your thumb warm, kind of trying to have a pre-pitch routine, I think it can be very helpful to go based on what you struggle with. If you struggle inside righty-righty, cheat inside. That's why the PCI anchors can be nice, because you can automatically cheat inside if you want to. You could cheat up and in if you wanted to, have it start that way. I like mine starting in the middle just so it's the same thing for every hitter, but it's good to cheat for an area you struggle with. So if you're somebody who struggles online, I would love it if you did a little bit of an experiment for me. Try going into practice mode here in MLB The Show. Try setting your difficulty to GOAT difficulty, getting, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes, however long you want to do. Just get some practice in on GOAT difficulty. You guys are going to see the pitch was way faster. Now the PCI actually gets smaller for that, but get some practice in on GOAT difficulty. Go play an event game. You don't even have to do BR. You don't have to do ranked seasons. Just go to an event game and come back to this video and let me know, how did it go? Did you feel more comfortable at the plate after getting some warm-up reps in on GOAT difficulty? That was weird. We had good timing though, but I just didn't want to chase a pitch. But please, I would love it if at least one of y'all did that. If you tried GOAT difficulty in practice, then you went and played, just say, an event game online, let me know how it goes, because I think it really could be a big help. I just realized I forgot to go over ambush hitting, a brand new thing in MLB The Show 25. So I do want to just explain this. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it at all. We'll have to wait and see. But basically, you can either choose with the right analog stick, you move it left and you see we guess to the left. If you move it right, you guess to the right. And you'll notice on the right side, okay, let's just say I guess the left actually. Whatever side you guess, basically the PCI is bigger and then it gets smaller on the other side. So it's bigger on the side I'm guessing, smaller on the side I'm not. And the way that they explained it is that on the side you guess, hitting is going to be one difficulty easier. So let's say we're on Hall of Fame. The side that I guess would make the PCI and my timing for that side down from Hall of Fame to All-Star. The side that you guess with that PCI change, it makes it one difficulty easier. But then on the side that you're not guessing, it makes it, I think they said 2 difficulties harder. It almost sounded like they said 2 difficulties harder, but it might just be 1 difficulty harder. I'm not 100% sure exactly the specifics. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section. But basically, you can guess the left side or the right side. And the side that you're guessing, the PCI is bigger. The side that you don't guess, the PCI is smaller. Easier difficulty on the side you guess, harder difficulty on the side you don't guess. You can literally choose this every pitch. It's something you're doing every pitch, and you don't have to use it either. You can use it if you want to, but you don't have to use it. If you want to see the ambush controls at the bottom and your settings, then you would have your settings. You go to gameplay, display, and you need some type of batting controls on, whether it's full display or minimal, but then you also need the ambush hitting controls on. And now we can look at this, okay? At the bottom it says ambush, in or out, and you can reset it if you decide you don't want to have ambush on, okay? So let's say I guess left, but I don't want to be doing that. You can press the right stick and then it resets. You don't have anything selected. But I just wanted to make sure I explain the new feature a little bit. Again, I don't know the exact difficulties, but basically the side you guess, it's easier to hit, but then that side that you're not guessing, it's going to make that half of the zone harder to hit. And just to kind of summarize everything that I talked about today, I would say my #1 hitting tip is going to be just practice actually getting online reps in ranked seasons, BR, whatever it is. I would probably recommend ranked seasons. That's just me. That's what I like to get my practice in. But I think the best way to practice is by actually getting reps in. Now, when you're hitting, zone hitting, one of the strike zone cameras, if you're trying to be the best that you can be, I'm using the normal strike zone one. That's what I'm most comfortable with, but it's all about personal preference. Timing is important. You can use the timing of the hitter. I know that's kind of a little known thing, but you can use that leg kick from him to time up the pitches. I also think it's good to let your thumb stay warm. You don't want it to be cold. You don't want to just have it still, because then I think it's going to be harder to react to the pitches. Whatever your pre-pitch routine is, try to figure something out. Don't be afraid to cheat inside if that's what you struggle with. If you struggle outside, maybe don't be afraid to cheat that way. But I always find it hardest to react to kind of the inside and the up pitches. So that's the way that I like to cheat my PCI. Don't be afraid to take pitches. Look for something, maybe down the middle, maybe inside, maybe up, maybe low, whatever it is. Look for something, and then especially 2 strikes, you got to protect. But don't be afraid to take pitches. It's okay to watch a pitch. It's okay to see how the ball is coming out of his hand. It's okay to take a strike. It's even okay to strike out looking sometimes. It's not ideal, but these games are long. If you're playing a 9-inning ranked seasons game, you got plenty of at-bats to work with. It's okay to take some pitches. And I like to stare in the general area. I'm kind of staring like right where his shoulder was or so, but I'm kind of just in that general area. I'm not trying to look for the release point. I think that's doing too much. I think it's going to be harder for you to hit if you're really just trying to stare at that release point. And with your peripheral vision, the way you can see the timing of the hitter on the left, you can also try to pay attention for the ball coming back on the right side, or if it's a lefty coming back on the left side. But I stare at the release point area. In my secondary vision, I look at the ball coming back, and I find it to be a huge help for tracking the ball. That's always been the way that I've done it, and I feel like it really helps me out. But I think that's going to be all of the hitting tips that I have for y'all today. I'm really interested in the comment section to see other hitting tips that you might have, because there's probably things that I missed. I'm sure there's things that I didn't think about, or maybe even things that I didn't know about, because I'm hoping at least some of y'all didn't know about that leg kick from the hitter, that you can use that to time up pitches. I'm sure. So when I first found that out, I was kind of mind blown. So I can't wait to read the comments. I'm hoping y'all have some questions that myself or some other people could answer. I'm hoping this video helped out at least one person out there. If it did, I feel happy that I made it. If it helps out at least just one person out there, so maybe in the comments if it helped you out, let me know. As always, feel free to drop a like if you enjoyed. Maybe consider subscribing for daily uploads. You might enjoy one of the videos that pop up on screen, another on the channel, but we're going to be daily uploading all MLB 25 long, so I'm really hoping that I see you in some future MLB The Show 25 videos. Thank you as always for watching.